Dustin May has his best start of the year. Did the Dodgers find a high-leverage reliever on the scrap heap that could be this year's Ryan Brazier? Also, we got big injury updates. Dave Roberts talks Chris Taylor for the first time. Also, Jeff Passan, once Paul Skenes traded from the Pirates and he threw out the Dodgers. There's so much to get into. Freddie Freeman's future. Lots to get into here on a jam-packed episode of Dodgers Dugout Live.
It's time for Dodger baseball. Welcome to Dodger Stadium.
This is the golden age of Dodger baseball. The Dodgers are building a dynasty.
You guys ready to parade? We got a parade! The Dodgers punch back and head to the championship series. Ohtani starts the 50-50 club. Mookie magic. Freeman hits the ball to right field. She is gone. Start the party, Los Angeles. Your Dodgers have won the World Series.
Think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.
What is up, Dodgers Nation, and welcome to another episode of Dodgers Dugout Live, the #1 Dodgers podcast and show on YouTube. My name is Doug McKain, credentialed member of Dodgers Media. You can follow me on X and Instagram at DMAC_LA. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. If you really want to support the channel, smash that like button for your Los Angeles Dodgers. Also, join the Discord chat. Lots of Dodgers fans talking ball all day, every day, 24/7, 365. And everyone always asks me, hey, DMAC, how do I get the hats? How do we get the merch? Join the VIP Dodgers Nation Discord VIP access. $6.99 a month. You get behind the scenes. You get exclusive merch. You get all kinds of awesome stuff on there. You can call into the show, all kinds of cool stuff. But your Los Angeles Dodgers, after a losing homestand, dealing with injuries, they take 2 out of 3 from the Arizona Diamondbacks, and they're 2 games up on the Padres in the National League West. After all of this, the Dodgers 31-19, and they're 2 games up on the Giants and 2.5 games up on the San Diego Padres. It's actually their largest lead in the division this season, and just a couple games back from the Detroit Tigers for best record in baseball. But as you guys over on the X, today's Dodgers Dugout Live poll question of the show is, would you have an issue if Chris Taylor signed with the Padres? And right now, 31% of you say yes, 69% of you say no. I got producer Noel. He's rocking with me, looking for all of your takes, all of your questions for the 7th inning stretch. We'll give out a comment of the show. We've got designated Twitter, the best of Dodgers social media, so be ready for that. But we've got a jam-packed show. Lots to talk about in the world of your Los Angeles Dodgers, so let's get right into it with the leadoff.
Leading off, the hottest story in Dodger baseball.
So a lot to pick from for the hottest story, but I think right now I'm still thinking about the Dodgers releasing Chris Taylor. And it had been a couple of days, but Dave Roberts really hadn't said anything about the Dodgers' decision to move on from a player that he had spent the majority of his managing career with him on his roster. Chris Taylor, he started with the Dodgers late in 2016. That was Dave Roberts' first year with the club. They had been to 3 World Series together. They have won multiple World Series together. Big moments from Chris Taylor, but really Dave hadn't said anything about Chris Taylor. So yesterday I was at the game and I got Doc's thoughts on the tough decision to DFA CT3.
I know it's been a couple of days, but just kind of about Chris a little bit. Even though you felt it was the right decision from a baseball and a roster standpoint, just how tough was that for you as a manager, knowing how you guys have had so much success together, and he's been here really almost your whole time?
It was tough. It was tough, and he handled the conversation really well. He's had a lot of huge moments for us in the postseason, and played in as many games as any Dodger in history as far as the postseason experience. He always did what we asked.
So that's really interesting to me. It would actually go on to say a couple other things too as well. And he would say that it was a tough decision, that it was a tough decision for him to go out there and do that. And he would say that for Chris Taylor, the biggest thing for him was he wanted to play. He wanted to continue his playing career. And Dave told me that he handled the conversation really well. He had a lot of huge moments for us in the postseason. He wanted an opportunity to play more, and if it wasn't going to be here, to play somewhere else. And I respect him for betting on himself. That's what Doc had to say about Chris Taylor. So for the last couple of days, really the narrative has been that Chris Taylor was not getting the job done as a player, and the numbers certainly do reflect that. On the year, hitting 200, and since the start of last season, hitting 202 with a 68 weighted runs created plus. That's 345 out of 374 major league hitters with at least 250 plate appearances. But the way Doc made it sound almost was like, hey, Chris wasn't getting playing time, and they had a conversation about it, and Chris wanted to play elsewhere if he was not going to get that opportunity. So is this what really happened? Or is this just kind of one of those where you kind of doing Chris Taylor a solid almost? And hopefully this kind of helps him get on with another team where CT3's representatives are saying to teams out there that are interested, hey, I just wasn't getting regular playing time. It's tough to hit when you don't get regular playing time. This almost feels like when you're applying at a new job and then your job is doing their background check and you just hope they call your old employer and they say that you are great and that you're always on time and you did everything. Chris Taylor has never done anything wrong in his entire life. And from 2017 to 2021, when he was hitting 265 with a 343 on base, slugging 461, and was 16% above league average offensively, averaging 2.9 wins above replacement on the seasons that he was really good, made an all-star team, that was certainly the case. Unfortunately, the offense, it dipped. The Dodgers moved on. And it's just really nice to see Chris Taylor hopefully get an opportunity somewhere else and accomplish what he wants. And that is get in there and be an everyday player, possibly get a bigger role. Well, can you imagine if Chris Taylor ends up on the San Diego Padres? Because Dennis Lin of The Athletic, he floated the idea of CT3 being an option for San Diego because they've had a losing streak. The offense hasn't been good. He wrote Chris Taylor, making him a hypothetical candidate to address the Padres' left field woes. But the 34-year-old's underlying numbers are even worse than Jason Hayward's, also a Dodger that was DFA'd. So, look, he could end up in San Diego. He could end up on another team in the division. Clearly, he still wants to play. So my big takeaway from what Doc told me is that Chris Taylor still wants to continue his playing career, and it's not as a 26 man on a roster. It's a guy that hopefully, in his case, will get more of an opportunity. What I always say, don't listen to what they say, watch what they do. And what they did was they minimized his role. They reduced his playing time, and he had just 35 at-bats in the Dodgers' 46 games when he was on the roster. So he had 6 starts. Ha-Seong Kim was getting more playing time. The writing was certainly on the wall. But who knows? Maybe he goes to the San Diego Padres. Wouldn't that be something? I mean, he stays on the West Coast. He has a footprint here. He's established his life in Manhattan Beach, so I wouldn't be surprised to see that. The Dodgers are eating just over $13.3 million because they're owing him around $9.3 million for the rest of this season. Also has a $12 million club option for 2026 with a $4 million buyout. So wouldn't that be something? The Dodgers paying Chris Taylor to play for the San Diego Padres. Of course, that is just Dennis Lin throwing out something. It doesn't mean that there's any traction to that, but it does feel like he's going to pick on a team somewhere and find his way an opportunity, and we'll see if it is San Diego. But let me know down below in the comment section. I mean, that'd be some nightmare fuel. I mean, it would not be fun. We know Chris Taylor loves the beach, and that is kind of like the Dodgers beach house down there. That is little brother down in SD. But I can kind of see it. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I could kind of see it. Dodgers suck. What a profile there, right there. I'm reading this in chat. This is a guy's profile name. Dodgers suck. Padres don't need any Dodger rejects. They already have Machado. That's pretty funny to me, because clearly you're a Padres fan who's dissing your own players. I always say, once a Dodger, always a Dodger, unless you're Manny Machado, Josh Reddick, or Alex Verdugo. That's kind of where that stands right there. We've got lots of you down below in the comment section. A jam-packed show today. And now we're going to get into your favorite 3 up, 3 down. 3 things I like and 3 things I don't like right now in the world of Dodger baseball.
3 up, 3 down.
All right, the first thing I like, and I actually love this, was Dustin May. Dustin Mania. Heard people calling him Cannon O'Brien with that red lettuce. Dustin May had his best start of the season, and quite frankly, that was one of the best starts that he's ever had. Last night, he outdueled Diamondbacks ace Corbin Burns. He went 6 innings, gave up 1 run on 5 hits, 8 strikeouts, 1 walk, an efficient 88 pitches, 14 swings and misses. The sweeper was a sweeping. You saw the pitch mix different. And I think a lot of that had to do with the fact that he was facing that Diamondbacks team again. So you wanted to make some adjustments. And you saw just a different arsenal. You saw more 4-seamers. You saw more cutters. The first inning, he used that 4-seamer to go up and in to strike out Gabriel Moreno, new Dodgers villain, the new Christian Walker. And he was getting swing and miss right out of the zone. So the command was great. The command was to the level where you say, if he's hitting in spots like that, you can get swing and miss that's outside of the zone, and you can fool hitters. And he was certainly doing just that. The 4-seamers, the cutters, they're working well. He was dominating with it. It was moving more than a military family. He had 6 whiffs on 12 swings on those 4-seamers and cutters. And that's exactly what the Dodgers needed. 6 innings of 1-run baseball for Dustin May. And that's the best I've seen him since he's been back. That's the best I've seen him in years, because it wasn't the 98, 99, 100 Dustin May. He pumped 97 a couple different times. But this is a glimpse into what D May could be. Code Red. A guy that can go out there and execute pitches with filthy movement in the zone and have success against a really talented lineup in the Arizona Diamondbacks. And he gave up 1 home run, and that was not even the worst pitch right there. I mean, he throws it into the nitro zone to Ketel Marte, and that's where lefties like it. You throw a sinker, it leaks out over the plate in their sweet spot, they're going to crank it. And he did that. He also fell behind the count there 2-0. So really, as long as he's getting ahead in the count, as long as he's executing pitches, Dustin May can be a factor for this team. Before the season began, my 5 X Factor Dodgers, 1 was Tyler Glasnow, and I think that's pretty obvious why, but 2 was Dustin May. And that is because when Dustin May is right, he has frontline starter stuff. His ceiling is ace. His ceiling is 2. His ceiling is a frontline guy when he's at his very best. Only issue is he's not at his very best. He's not always at his very best, right? He can go a lot of different ways, but last night he was on his game and he gave the Dodgers exactly what they needed. He was cruising for most of the night. I love the emotion with runners on the corners. You got Smith at the plate. He gets the ground out to get out of the jam and give the Dodgers a chance to go on top on the other side of that inning. And then Teo ends up hitting the home run. But very impressed with Dustin May. I think that last night he gave me confidence that he can stick in this rotation for the entire season. And at the very least, you move into a hybrid role. But I think that he wants to start. He's in a year where is his last year of team control. He wants to show teams out there that he can be a starter in this league and get starters money. So he's got a lot riding on this year. Well, here was Dustin May talking about his best start of the season.
I was able to establish fastball early. Sweeper was going in and out. I was being able to land it when I needed to. I was getting ahead of guys, and they were getting themselves out, so it was good. Yeah, I mean, it's always good to go out and give the guys in the bullpen a break. Being able to go 6 is huge. Being able to keep a few runs off the board is always good, too. And then Teo came up huge and hit the 3-run homer. They played really good defense behind me, and it was a good team win. Yeah, I mean, I felt much better today physically than I did the last outing. So just felt way more in tune with myself and was able to execute some more throws. I mean, it's been a long time since I've thrown 8 starts. So, I mean, it's getting back into the spots that I feel like I need to and being able to come in every day and get my work in and just being able to replicate stuff when I go out on the mound. Oh, it was huge to be able to come off with only 1 and give the guys a better chance at going and only needing to get 1 was huge for my mentality. I mean, I look at every start the same. It doesn't matter who I'm facing. I'm trying to go out and give my best that I can. I mean, it's just another team. So, I mean, they're a really good team, but I mean, I look at them, you can't look at them as better or worse than another team. So they're still a big league team and they're solid. So I go out and give the same as I always would.
So he was in a great mood after the game. You could tell he was very happy with his start. His numbers now, a 4.09 ERA, 3.99 FIP, not eye-popping, but what I love, though, 9 starts, 50 2/3 innings. We haven't seen this level of consistency from Dustin May. Oh, and also, he's going to make it out of May without going on the IL, something that he hasn't been able to do the last couple of times we've seen him. And I just want to throw this out there, too. If Dustin May even just continues these numbers for the rest of the way, he deserves to be the comeback player of the year, because this is a man that nearly lost his life in the offseason because a piece of lettuce was lodged into his throat. They had to do surgery through his abdomen. Dustin May deserves the comeback player of the year. There's no doubt about that if he can continue this success. Just think about that with Dustin May. He is someone that has worked his way back from multiple injuries, a Tommy John. They went out there and they essentially did flexor tendon repair surgery. He thinks he's on his way back, and then he nearly chokes to death on a lettuce. Dustin May said that had he not gone to the hospital, that he would have died. That if it weren't for his wife that urged him to go to the hospital, he would have died. He went to the bathroom at the restaurant that he was at, and he was sweating profusely. He was drenched in sweat, goes to the hospital, and thankfully those doctors performed emergency surgery, and he's still with us on the mound. So I want to throw it out there. I think Dustin May deserves comeback player of the year consideration if he keeps this up. This is a man that went through a lot this offseason. Okay, first down. Let's talk about some injuries. And we did our big injury update, but there was still more from yesterday. And Shohei Ohtani, he threw again. I was there, and it looks like you're starting to see a ramp up for him. And the big box that he's checked off is throwing sliders in his bullpen sessions. Dave Roberts said yesterday, yeah, he was spinning it a little, putting more touch in, and he has more feel. I'm not sure what's to come. Hopefully he comes out of it well, which is what I would expect, and then we'll see what he does at Citi Field on Saturday. But there might be a little more of a progression increase, so we'll see what that means. Now, what that means to you is waiting for Dave Roberts to say that he's facing live hitters. Because once he's facing live hitters and throwing sliders against them, then we can really start to talk about Shohei's return to the mound feeling imminent. Dave was really not committing to it yesterday. He said, we'll see. I don't know. We'll see. He kind of didn't want to give anything concrete or definitive on the matter, but still, these are very positive signs. If the postseason was tomorrow, he would be available. I can say that because they're slow playing him because they want to make sure that when he's back, he can handle both. He hasn't done this for a while, right? Be an MVP level hitter and be a guy that is a top 10 pitcher in the sport. He also hasn't spoken to the media too. He hasn't talked to the media in over 10 days. My theory, maybe it's because he's going home and he's got to be a dad. It's dad Tani, right? He's showing that dad strength. Now, couple more quick ones we'll get into on the injury front. I want to run down these really quick, keep you guys updated. Kirby Yates. So Kirby Yates, he's dealing with a hamstring strain. He's been on the 15-day IL. Dave said things are trending in the right direction for him. And it's going to be anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks until we see him back. But Tuesday, it was the first time that he didn't feel that lingering pain, that tightness while he was walking. I saw him in the Dodgers clubhouse. He was in good spirits. He was walking fine. And Dave said he's playing catch. The hamstring felt better yesterday walking than it did 2 days ago. So he's just trying to make sure we keep his arm moving. But yeah, he'll be back as well with the other guys. So I'm not sure. So he's not going with them on this road trip. He's going to stay in LA. Dave said he talked to me and he said he doesn't think it's going to be too long. But again, this is the first time he's ever dealt with it. So he has never dealt with a hamstring injury. But based on what I saw yesterday, based on what Dave said yesterday, I don't anticipate this going past the 4 weeks, which was the high mark of what they were throwing out there as a possibility. Then Tyler Glasnow, Dave said that Tyler Glasnow is going to stay back. He's going to throw a bullpen on Friday. He's going to be at Dodger Stadium and back in LA with Blake Trinan and Rogi Sasaki. So those guys aren't going with them either. But Glasnow is throwing a bullpen session. That's definitely promising. He let this start when his shoulder was grabbing at him last time we saw him. So hopefully it's been a mechanical fix, because that's been the big issue with Tyler Glasnow, to get you up to speed, is the reason why he was injured was because he had made a mechanical adjustment to his arm angle, and that was to try to take the pressure off his elbow. But it's been injury whack-a-mole, and now that's led to some stress on his shoulder. So the last time we saw him, it was against the Pirates on April 27th. He went just 1 inning, gave up 2 home runs in that one. Then the next inning, he was warming up, and he asked to come out. So that is the status on Tyler Glasnow. Now, some pretty big updates on Blake Snell. Blake Snell was on Dodgers Talk. My man David Vassay, love DV. Blake Snell told him about his shoulder situation. He said, the pain has finally gone away. I haven't played catch without pain probably since we were in Japan. I'm pretty excited about that. It just feels good to finally play catch again and be able to work on something. Throwing with pain sucks. I like that. Candid. So he had been dealing with the left shoulder stuff pretty much this entire year, the inflammation, but he decided to pitch through that. He said, you know what, maybe it'll go away. Maybe it'll heal itself and I'll be just fine. He did not put a lot of weight into it, but then it got worse and worse. And looking back, it sounds like he regrets doing that. It sounds like he regrets pitching through it, because he would say, you don't notice it when you're in it. It's like, oh, it's going to go away, because that's usually what we go through. It's just early. It will go away. But it was pretty tough. It was tough when it didn't. And I probably should have stopped throwing before opening day, but I wanted to pitch so bad. That made it worse than it was probably going to be, but I'll learn from it. He said, it's tough, man. You want to compete. You want to play. New to being a Dodger. I wanted to show everyone how great I am and what I can be. Got a little too far ahead of myself, so I'll learn from it. So give him credit, right? He signed that big $182 million deal. He wanted to show you what Snellzilla is all about. And what that is being a Cy Young level pitcher when he's on his game. And unfortunately, he dealt with his shoulder inflammation. He tried to gut it out, and it set him back. Now, the Dodgers did transfer him to the 60-day IL earlier this month. So the earliest he can return is June 2nd. Davis said that Glasnow is further ahead of Snell. So we'll see if there's no setbacks, if he can get back, because he has not thrown off a mound yet. So he's still playing catch and going through that progression. I saw him playing catch with Clayton Kershaw the other day. I'm sure that made his day, because he was looking forward to pitching with him. I remember back in spring training, Blake Snell was tickled just to throw a bullpen session in front of Clayton Kershaw. So I'm sure that was pretty cool. And I just want to end the Blake Snell on this. I know a lot of you guys out there are trying to say the Dodgers should have signed Max Fried. The Dodgers should have signed Corbin Burns. Blake Snell is a secret agent. He's Agent Zero from the San Francisco Giants. He's the modern version of what Jason Schmidt was. I'm here to tell you this, that I'm still firmly planting my flag on Blake Snell. He was my number one free agent target this offseason. I'm not going to change my stance. I'm not one of those guys that goes out there and changes his stance because a guy gets injured. And the reason for this is this tracks with Blake Snell's career. Let me tell you this. Last year with the Giants, it was all about having a great season and putting himself in a position to sign the deal that he did with the Dodgers, but he got to spring training late, was dealing with injuries, and did not really get going until July 9th. So it's May 22nd, right? Last season, when he came back on July 9th, the last 3 months of the season, he wasn't good. He wasn't great. He was the best pitcher in all of Major League Baseball. In his last 80 and a thirds innings, a microscopic 1.23 ERA, a 38.1% strikeout rate. And he also reduced the walk rate from 13.3% to 10%. And then also on top of that, it's not just a one-year thing. Throughout the course of his entire career, July, August, and September, his ERAs are July 2.43, August 2.44, September 2.14. He has a career 3.33 postseason ERA in 48 and a thirds innings. Just ask the 2020 Dodgers how good Blake Snell can be when he's shoving in October. So I'm not selling my Blake Snell stock. I still think it was the right signing based on who was available, and that's because he's a dog when it matters most. He has been a better postseason pitcher than Corbin Burnes and Max Fried. He has been a better second-half pitcher than Corbin Burnes or Max Fried. Now, if he does have a big injury, then, yeah, that would change it, and I would have to take that L, and I would not be afraid to do it, but that's just where we are at. Okay, so the reason that's a down is because I hate all injuries. All injuries are a down, even if they're good updates. Want to throw out two? I asked Dave Roberts about Edgardo Henriquez. He hadn't really said much about Edgardo for his entire season and gave a little bit, but here's what he had to say about Edgardo Henriquez, who recently was throwing in Arizona.
It looks like Edgardo Henriquez is throwing down Arizona. Any update on him just in the short term and the long term plan?
No, I know he's throwing. It seems a lot longer, this process of him coming back. So I just have no idea when he's going to come back. And so obviously he'll be on rehab assignments, and that's going to be probably 5 or 6 before we even have a conversation of him coming back here.
So, look, the reason why I think it's important to keep mentioning Edgardo Henriquez is we have to see if these right-handed relievers can get back and stay healthy. And Henriquez, he was on the postseason roster at one point, right? So you have to factor that in. And he's got elite stuff as far as potential goes. Triple-digit heaters. Want to throw out a bonus up, by the way? It's been 2 appearances. How about Lou Trevino? Lou Trevino, in a high-leverage situation, in a big spot, he got Marte to ground out to second. So that was huge. The Dodgers picked him up on May 10th after he was done with the San Francisco Giants. And this is a guy that picked up on the dollar menu, on the scrap heap. And Lou Trevino could be this year's version of Ryan Brazier, this year's version of Chris Martin, this year's version of Evan Phillips. We're talking about guys that Anthony Bonda, guys that were nothing burgers when the team they were on just DFA'd them and just they were gone. But Lou Trevino looks like he could be a guy that could contribute to this team. They made some adjustments with his pitch mix. He's thrown more cutter with the Dodgers, and that's why what I was told yesterday was, talking to someone, that one of the big fixes with Trevino was they were going to have him throw cutter, and we saw what that cutter did to Ryan Brazier a couple years ago against lefties. So I'm just throwing it out there. Dustin May comeback player of the year. Lou Trevino, this year's scrap heap dollar menu guy that turned up to be a big-time contributor. I'm just saying it's possible. There's some promising stuff there. To come through in a high-leverage situation like he did, that was very, very encouraging. Very encouraging. Okay, so moving on. Next up, want to give it up to Mookie Betts' shortstop play. want to give it up to Mookie Betts' shortstop play, because Mookie Betts, I've said it before, I'll say it again, and I'll say it about 100 more times. He's not getting enough credit nationally. He's not getting enough credit amongst the fan base, because he's doing something that has literally never been done in the history of this sport. And that is be a 6-time Gold Glove Award winning outfielder that's come into the infield after turning 30 and has turned himself into a top 5 defensive shortstop. He has been better defensively this year than Francisco Lindor, Willy Adames, guys that we thought were going to be the future of the Dodgers at shortstop. He's been better than Dansby Swanson. He's been light years better than Corey Seager as a defensive shortstop. You know, I bring my facts to the fight. The numbers back it up. 4 defensive runs saved. That's 4th in the sport. 4 outs above average. That's 5th in the sport. By every single defensive metric, Mookie Betts is grading out at a above average level defensively. And I think the big question the Dodgers fans have is, where's the offense? Well, we've started to see that trend upward. Mookie, after having 2 home runs the other night, he said that his offense has, quote, been kind of all over the place, but he's been working on trying to solve some issues with his swing, on looking for these cues. And Mookie said that he's found those cues. He said, I was just trying to find things out. I found a little cue that worked today, so we'll see tomorrow. It's a constant battle. You don't feel good every day. So the fact that I think that he's getting more comfortable at the shortstop position defensively, I think doesn't have to stress about that as much, just because he's put in the work. He worked with Troy Tulowitzki this offseason. He studied film, got the reps, and then last night, 2 for 4. Night before, 1 for 5. The night before that, 2 for 4 with 2 home runs. 3-game hitting streak. So the offense is trending upward. The defense has been really good. And right now, Mookie Betts is 5th in WAR among shortstops. He's behind Geraldo Perdomo, Bobby Witt Jr., Jacob Wilson, Lindor, and he's 5th. I mean, if I told you that last season that Mookie Betts was going to be a top 5 shortstop offensively and defensively combined, you'd have just assumed that he was raking and had a 180 weighted runs created plus and had 30 home runs. That's not the case. It's the defense that's been making those WAR numbers go up, and now the offense is coming around. And if the offense fits and matches the defense, he should be right there as a top 3 MVP candidate in the National League. But I asked Mookie after yesterday's game about the fact that he's grading out so highly defensively and what's been the difference this year compared to last year, and how much he's improved at being a big league shortstop.
And the metrics on your defensive play at shortstop have been very positive so far. Which has been kind of the biggest difference this year compared to last year playing that position?
Preparation. Got to prepare. I have an idea of what I'm doing instead of just hoping that athleticism wins. Not at this level. It doesn't work like that. So you have to have an idea of what you're doing. And I work hard every day. I'm out there every day early, doing what I can to be successful, and just doing what I can to help the team win.
I love it. Mookie living his best life. Another thing, too, with those home runs the other day, in his career, he has 140 home runs with the Dodgers and 139 home runs with the Red Sox. With the Dodgers, a 144 OPS plus. With the Red Sox, a 134 weighted runs created plus. So we know his best season was 2018, but he's going to be known as a Dodger, really, because of the World Series titles and the moments, and that's just where he's creating his legacy. I actually talked to him after the game about really the Knicks and Pacers game, and he was watching the highlights. We're watching that. I also asked him, I was like, hey, Mookie, you always ask like these guys on your show, like all these questions, all those fun questions, but you never answer them yourself. So I was like, yeah, I'm going to just like always come in and ask you whatever you ask them to see what your answer would be. So I asked him, because he asked Chris Sale if he thought that Chris Sale could get a bucket in an NBA game. And Chris Sale said he could get 1 bucket. I asked Mookie if he could get one. He said 10, 5, and 5. So Mookie, he feels like he'd go out there and he could score in an NBA game. So, hey, I believe him. He's an athlete. Mookie can do just that. He can dunk. I don't know if he can dunk now. I should ask him that next time. But Mookie's an athlete, and I just think that he deserves more credit for doing what he's doing. And yes, you're going to be overshadowed when you're on Shohei Ohtani's team and Freddie Freeman having MVP season. But for him to play shortstop, I mean, I'll say it before and I'll say it again. I mean, this is one of the great feats that we've seen in a long, long time because of how demanding that position is. Okay, next down. Okay, what's my next down? Okay, my next down, you guys probably want me to talk about this. Good chance that you're always hyped about this guy, and that is Paul Skenes. So you're probably going to be surprised about where I'm going to go with this. You guys know my mantra. You guys know my phrase I've coined, parades over prospects. But I don't know if that's the case with Paul Skenes, because I don't know if you saw this, but Jeff Passan was on the Pat McAfee show, and he was on there saying that Paul Skenes needs to be traded. If the Pirates don't want to pay him, they should trade him now and get as many prospects as you can. I've talked to people that are Pirates insiders that cover the team. They tell me that he's basically their marquee player, right? He puts any butts in the seats that they can, so they're not going to trade him. It'd be tough to actually even put a valuation on what he's worth. But Passan was putting out some crazy type of trades, right? He wanted the Dodgers to trade Dalton Rushing and Josue DePaula and Zaire Hope and Andy Pages. Another trade would be Dalton Rushing, Josue DePaula, Zaire Hope, Kellen Lindsey, their first round pick, River Ryan, who they're really high on this comeback from injury, Hassan Kim for Paul Skenes. And yes, there's no doubt about it, Paul Skenes is the most electric pitcher in baseball. There's no doubt about it. He is that guy. He is appointment television. He's must-see TV. He's got star potential beyond just being a baseball player, right? With the whole Livy Dunn thing and just kind of being crossover. They move the needle. No doubt about it. But the truth is with Paul Skenes is if you trade for him, can you guarantee he's going to get healthy? And I don't, find every piece of wood you can knock on, right? I don't want to throw this out there, but I got to keep it a buck with you guys. Paul Skenes is in the 95th percentile in velocity. And this season, Skenes is averaging 98.1 miles per hour on his fastball. Last year, averaged 98.8. Pretty consistent. The facts show the harder you throw, the higher the risk of injury. And would you really want to absolutely gut your entire farm system? I mean, that is gutting your farm system for Paul Skenes. Might as well throw in the Hollywood sign, the Sandy Koufax statue, and in and out. I mean, might as well just throw in Universal Studios. I mean, there's just so much you would have to include in a deal to get Paul Skenes. And if you trade for him and he gets injured, then that's a year without Paul Skenes that you're not having with Shohei, Freddie, and Mookie in what's left of their prime. So for me, yeah, if the Dodgers called on Skenes, it'd be interesting for sure. I was talking to a Pirates insider that he told me, period, point blank, he doesn't think LA is a fit for him from a personality standpoint. He thinks that Paul Skenes would prefer to be in somewhere like Texas, like the Texas Rangers, that he likes to go out there and pitch, but doesn't love the limelight, the attention, the spotlight, like someone as good as him probably would and should. And that would be great for the game, but that's just kind of not his personality type. Yes, he went to El Toro High School here in Southern California, but doesn't seem like that is kind of who he is. And look, Zaire Hope's going to be a top prospect. Dalton Rushing, we've seen what he looks like. Rush Hour is here in LA. And DePaula is getting better. Kellen Lindsey, he's been on this show. He's fast. Trey Turner level vibes with him. Kim is Hassan Kim, Hassan him, right? So I just think that if I was going to consider this, it'd be after I knew what was going to happen with Tyler Glasnow or Blake Snell or Roki Sasaki. Yamamoto is a front runner to win the Cy Young. So I think it'd be too early to do that. That would be just burn the boats. You're going for Paul Skenes. I think that for long-term winning and sustainability, you got to have the lifeblood of your organization intact, and that is a farm system. So for me, I'd be out on it right now. If there was a slew of injuries to the starters and your only option to get a frontline guy was Paul Skenes and you wanted to maximize this season, then I'd consider it. But right now, I'm waiting to see if Blake Snell, who's been the best second-half pitcher, hey, as great as Paul Skenes is striking guys out, Who has the highest strikeouts per nine statistically in MLB history? That is a one Blake Snell. So I'm waiting to see what those guys look like. But let me know down below in the comment section. JY, Robbie Hyde. Yeah, Robbie Hyde's a good friend of mine. He said estimates Skenes trade value to be around $117 million. It's tough to put a valuation on him. It really is. Because he's been this good, this young, and he has so many years of team control. He's pre-arbitration. So it's pretty wild. Mario Torres says, Pirates going to hold Skenes hostage until he blows his arm out. Yeah, that's the thing about Bob Nutting in this horrific ownership group in Pittsburgh is they don't know what they're doing. Don Kim, Freeman approaches, hang around the backboard and be opportunistic. Solid approach resulting in signing Freeman. Yeah, absolutely. Don Kim, it's a great point. I'll give you a little comment of the show for that. No doubt about that. I mean, he is he's Dennis Rodman, Charles Barkley, right? He's there to catch the rebound, right? That's exactly his approach, and it's worked for him throughout his entire career. But when it's time to be aggressive, he definitely is aggressive. Okay, let's keep running down these, and we got to get to designated Twitter too, the best of Dodgers social media. Okay, next up, just want to give this guy some love because it's just great to see Mr. Seeds back in the game. It's great to see Teoscar Hernández back doing Teoscar Hernández things, and that is coming through with runners in scoring position. And look, this team has some of the best players in the game, true MVP levels. You have the unicorn in Shohei, but what Teoscar Hernández is, he's the glue. He's the absolute glue to this Dodgers lineup. That was evidenced again last night. His 3-run home run off of Corbin Burnes was the difference. And that was the difference. Is Dustin May gives up a solo shot and Corbin Burnes gives up a 3-run shot. And if you look at that at bat, runners on first and second, give credit to the bottom of the lineup, Miguel Rojas starting that rally with an infield single. A couple batters later, Betts singled. That gave the Dodgers runners on first and second, 1 out. Freeman struck out. And then Teo at the plate, going up against Corbin Burnes, who was perfect for the first handful of innings of this game. A 1-2 count, and he crushes a slider that he leaves up, and he hits it out for a 3-run shot. And that was all the Dodgers needed. And what really popped into my mind when it came to Teo last night is Teoscar Hernández is probably the best mistake hitter I've ever seen for the Los Angeles Dodgers. I mean, it was really fun. I was after the game, because I'm a freak, I got home and I watched the Arizona broadcast because I like to watch the other team's broadcasts. So you have to say. Don't ask me why. But literally right before the pitch, the Diamondbacks broadcaster literally said, it's like, Teoscar Hernández is a hitter where if you just have one mistake, he has the power to hit it out for a home run. Literally as Corbin Burnes is releasing that slider. And what does Teo do? He crushes a 3-run shot. And the Dodgers take the lead. And you get good pitching from Lou Trevino. And Tanner Scott gets back on the horse. And this season, Teoscar Hernández with runners in scoring position, he's 18 for 40, hitting .450 with a 13.27 OPS with 4 home runs. And also, he's missed over 2 weeks. And he's still just 6 RBIs shy of the league lead. That's how great he's been as a run producer this season. And I asked Teo after the game, hey, how great is it to not only just be back, but be back in the role the Dodgers have you for? And that is being that guy that comes through in those situations to put runs on the board.
You missed over 2 weeks and you're still just 6 RBIs shy of the major league lead. How good did it feel to come through in that situation again for this team like you have pretty much your whole career here?
Huge. I think the best job is the job that the guys in front of me are doing, getting on base. I'm a lucky man that I have those guys in front of me every time on base. And it feels great to deliver every time the teams need a big hit. Trying to get something that I can put in play. I think that was the only pitch that he missed whole night. He was throwing the ball pretty good, hitting the spot that he wanted to hit, and then I think he just missed that one. Just to slow the game down, be calm, not trying to expand the strike zone. I chased 2 out of the strike zone after the first pitch, and just trying to walk around, talking to myself, stay calm, and just trying to hit the ball.
The ultimate mistake hitting guy in Major League Baseball right now. He's invaluable to this team. Okay, last down is, I don't know if you guys saw this, but MLB Players Weekend is coming back this year. It's going to be between August 15th through the 17th. The Dodgers are taking on the Padres that week. And yes, it was back last season, but you know what's not back is the players' nicknames on the back of their jerseys. Got an email about it from the league, and it said, during the weekend, players will get the chance to bring these themes to life through personalized bats and cleats during the games. Players will also be wearing their numbers on the side of their existing game caps. So you get bats, you get cleats, you get numbers on the caps, but where are the nicknames? I want to see them bring back the nicknames. 2019, I didn't like the jersey. I thought the jersey was pretty ugly, to be honest with you. Looked kind of like a softball jersey, but the nicknames were sick. Who's going to forget Kenley Jansen? I'm going to tell you guys all of them. Kenley Jansen, Kenley-fornia. Kenley-fornia was awesome. You had Dave Freeze was Dave Human. Walker Buehler's was Butane. Belly's was Belly. How about Matt Beatty? Bader's Taters. Pedro Baez was La Mula. Kike's was Kike. How about Jed Jerko's? His was Jerk Store. Tony Gonson's was Goose. Yimi Garcia's was Via Trina. I'm not sure what that is. Joe Kelly's was 909. Kirsch's was Kirsch. Dustin May's was Big Red. How about Christopher Negron's was Negron James? I mean, bring these back. AJ Pollock's was Poyo. Will Smith's was Smitty. Ross Stripling's was Chicken Strip. JT's was Red Turn 2. Alex Verdugo's was Doogie. I'm just telling you, you got to bring these back. But coming up next, it's all about you guys. 7th inning stretch, designated Twitter. That's coming up next on Dodgers Dugout Live. All right, just a reminder that today's episode of Dodgers Dugout Live is brought to you by Factor. Dodgers nights got even better because now you don't have to miss a single pitch worrying about dinner. With Factor, you can enjoy fresh, chef-prepared meals ready in just 2 minutes. No prep, no cleanup. That means more time locked into the game and less time in the kitchen. Whether you're watching from home or heading to the ballpark, Factor's got you covered with over 45 weekly options from Protein Plus to Calorie Smart to Keto. My favorite, the garlic herb chicken and creamy tomato risotto, elite fuel for game day. And right now, Dodgers fans get an exclusive offer. Go to factormeals.com/Dodgers50 off and use code Dodgers50 off to get 50% off your first box plus free shipping. That's DODGERS50OFF. Factor makes it easy to eat well, save time, and cheer harder. Let's go, Dodgers. All right, welcome back to Dodgers Dugout Live, the #1 Dodgers show and podcast on YouTube. But it is Thursday, and you know what that means. It is designated Twitter day, the best of Dodgers social media.
Designated Twitter, the best of Dodgers social media.
All right, we got my man, producer Noel, rocking with us. All right, what do we got first? Last week, I don't know. By the way, I saw you guys post on Twitter. Someone thought it was like an honor to be featured on designated Twitter. They screenshotted that they were on this. I forgot what the tweet was about. What was it about?
It was Clarissa on Twitter, and what was her tweet about? I know she dropped it afterwards. It was the Blake Snell one. The Blake Snell.
Oh, the Blake Snell and the Austin Barnes.
Yeah,
and so, yeah. I actually replied. I don't really do that these days, but I did. Came out of that.
Real quick, Doug, we got an amazing super chat. Perfect for designated Twitter. You want to read that real quick?
Charlene O.
Yep.
298. Get Factor to make DMAC a torta. Facts, dude. Absolutely. We need Factor to make a torta, man. Apparently the carnitas have the best tortas, right?
Yeah.
Carnitas.
Real ones, no. You get
Carnitas.
carnitas, you don't get us out.
You don't get us out of that.
All right, let's grade it right
All right, let's see what we got. We got the first one today. Okay, this was really, I actually talked to Dalton Rushing about this yesterday. Dalton Rushing, he was singing his own walk-up song. I'm going to crank the volume down that one. He's singing Rager by Kid Cudi. Super cool stuff. Totally a vibe. Love Dalton Rushing. And yeah, that's everyone really likes the walk-up song. And he told me he saw it and he was just kind of laughing. And he was like, he told me yesterday, like, man, you know, the cameras will catch anything right in the show. So I think he's kind of getting used to that as well. All right, what else we got? We've got when we get let's make this big. Okay, we got this is from Cindy from Teo Ohtani Forever. First of all, I'm gonna give you a let's go Dodgers just for that name alone, that hand alone. When will I get a rom-com that takes place at Dodger Stadium? Yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of movies that have been filmed at Dodger Stadium. Naked Gun, even Moneyball, the scenes were filmed there, but a rom-com would be pretty awesome. I see Fever Pitch right there. Some great rom-coms. That'd be awesome. It's only a matter of time for sure. I mean, I think you could do a buddy cop movie too. You could do a Hassan Kim and Shohei Ohtani, a buddy cop movie. That'd be pretty awesome. I think I want to see the players featured in it as well. All right, else we got? We've got Paul Hembo. Hembo. I love Hembo. He's from ESPN. He's Buster Olney's stat guy. He says, with his second strikeout tonight, Clayton Kershaw has more K than any pitcher at any ballpark. Clayton Kershaw, 1,616 and counting at Dodger Stadium. Steve Carlton, 1,615 at Veterans Stadium. Nice. Walter Johnson, 1,519 at Griffith Stadium. So that's really cool. Paul Hembekides, one of the GOATs when it comes to the world of baseball stats. I see people saying Kid Cudi's on the stand right now. Yeah, I did read that. Pretty wild stuff. All right, what else we got? Oh, like this. Jose, he's got a name for a rom-com. Yeah, what should the name of the Dodgers rom-com be? Jose's is Tortoise in the Pavilion. Come on, man. Gonna give you a bruh there. All right, what we got? We got Hassan Kim Muse. Hassan Kim kicks Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Oh, tricks. Tricked him. Let me see this. Oh, is it the poke trick?
It's the shoulder tap.
The shoulder tap. Alex Vesia is big on doing this to the reporters. That's pretty slick. That's pretty slick, man. Hassan Kim fitting right in. I saw that. I saw there was a picture of him shirtless during a Max Muncy press conference. So looks like that he got kind of slipping there. But yeah, he's a big fan of. Everyone loves Hassan Kim, like Dave Roberts said. All right, what else we got? The comment. This is from Things and Such. Tweets out: Dodgers win. Yamamoto pitched one hell of a game on Mexican Heritage Night. He earned his invite to the Asada after that performance. Yeah. Oh, look at this. Is this like photoshopped? What is that, Noel?
Like you want to race.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yamamoto, man. I'm telling you, Yamamoto is in.
Rocking the soccer jersey.
Like Yamamania, it needs to be Yamamoto bump day. I mean, it's the new bump day. He's the ace of the Dodgers, best Dodgers pitcher since Clayton Kershaw. So we need to celebrate Yamamoto bump days just like we used to Kershaw bump days. I totally think that for sure. All right, what else we got? We've got, this is from @PGISELL_ tweets. Y'all want to know a fun fact? Chris Taylor is the only player in MLB whose first and 100th home run was a grand slam. I actually did know that, which is really cool. And I think that Chris Taylor is a guy that he found his power with the Dodgers, right? 108 home runs with LA, 0 with the Mariners. But yeah, a grand slam is the way to get your 100th bomb. And yeah, it's going to be sad. It's going to be sad to not to have that Chris Taylor magic. But I remember that, though, against the White Sox. Oh, man. Halliburton. This is from Gersha. This is fresh. This is topical, Noel. It's $6 Panda Day, #Dodgers. Yeah, shout out to Panda Express. I didn't eat for like a whole week because the Panda deal, they weren't winning games. But yeah, that was an insane game. You know what's great? At the press conference, we were all watching the game. In the press, the media room, everyone's watching the game, cheering. It was like crazy. No one was watching the game. I was like, man, are the Dodgers even playing right now? All right, what else we got? Next is from Lana, who tweets out, what do you mean? I'm going to Will Smith bobblehead night, and Will Smith isn't even in the lineup. Yeah, he was in the lineup, but he did have sunflower seed duties. He's the guy who gave Teoscar the sunflower seed shower. Dave Roberts actually, before the game, didn't even know it was Will Smith's bobblehead night, which, I mean, do you fault him for? I mean, it feels like every night's a bobblehead night. So they canceled Joe Davis' bobblehead night. I don't know what that's about, but every night feels like it's a bobblehead night. But got to give Smitty his rest. He's playing at an all-star level. You want to preserve him for October. How awesome was his daughter, though, throwing out the first pitch? That was super cute. All right, what else we got? Okay, this is straight fire right here. This is from KO. Mind your MF business if you see me wearing this combination out in the streets. Of course, it's one thing to have the Dodgers Kobe 6s, but here's the catcher's gear with the Kobe logo, the Shizuku right in the center there. I was talking to DJ Severe, and he was like, hey, man, I'm getting like 2-3 of these. I'm like, dude, like That's cool, but I'd be really impressed if you actually got the gear, right? I mean, is that gear going to be available?
Yeah, so on May 30th, they're going to drop like the jersey first and the T-shirts and the sleeves. And then I think a couple months later, they're going to drop the catcher's gear.
I'm going to try to do what I can to get the catcher's gear.
You got to rock it on the show.
I was a catcher for 1 year, South Pass of the league, so maybe I'll bring it back. That is super fire right there. All right, what else we got? Let's hit Dave. Oh, I love Doyers Dave. This guy's got a fire. Dude, this was really awesome. Like this, I wish I was here for this. You know what? I heard this is actually the first time you ever had wrestling of any kind at Dodger Stadium. So honestly, it was kind of historic. But Doyers Dave tweet out, put Conforto and Rushing in there, and whoever wins gets the left field job. I like that. And he has and he has the wrestling match stuff. Yeah, I don't know about that, but Conforto, he better get it together if he wants to stay on this team all season long. All right, what else we got?
All right, got one more.
One more. Last one for this week's designated Twitter. And this is from Haesung Kim Hughes. Oh, yeah, this is cool. I love this. So this says, Haesung Kim is Yoshinobu Yamamoto's biggest supporter. And you see the video here. Every single time Yamamoto gets a strike, Haesung Kim does a little mini golf clap on his glove. This is adorable, man. How can you not like Haesung Kim? Look at this. Gets a strike, little clap right there. This is awesome. This is great. I love to see this. And I want to see something from him this weekend, too. I want to see Haesung Kim get some moments. But all right, guys, it is your time to shine. All of your questions, all of your comments, all your hottest takes about your boys in blue here in the 7th inning stretch.
The 7th inning stretch.
Do a couple of these and we out. We got Jimmy Joe Jurek. Where's the GOAT David Bodie? Yeah, David Bodie, I mean, he exercised the right to basically see if he can get on with another team, and he really hasn't been a part of it. So we'll see what he does. I mean, he retold his swing in spring training, was having success with it, but hasn't got his opportunity, and that is evidenced by the Dodgers wanting to go with more of that youth movement. Nick says someone's going to give up the whole farm from him. Not going to happen with the Dodgers. Someone's going to, yeah, we'll see. I mean, I think you're right. I think a team would. If he was a position player that was the phenom status. So this is the thing. If Paul Skenes was like Shohei or Aaron Judge or one of these great position players that you didn't have to worry about the potential of Tommy John surgery, then I would say, sure, maybe you consider it. But like I said, I like to keep it real with you guys. And harder you throw, more susceptible you are to be included in a tweet that includes the name Dr. Neil Elitrach, if you know what I mean. John Kernan, Skenes for Freddie is like Luka for AD. You do it any day of the week. That's a tough one. And the thing about Freddie Freeman said that he wants to play after the 2 years are over for what's remaining on his contract after this season. I think he wants to get to 3,000 strikeouts. I think he wants to cement his legacy here. Skenes for Freddie straight up. That'd be a tough call. It means a lot to... It would mean a lot to, that would be an absolute earth-shattering thing. But here's the thing. It's not even worth talking about because the Pirates that would mean nothing. The Pirates don't need a player like Freddie Freeman because why would you want a guy you have to pay $27 million for, right? They are not that kind of organization. So it's not even worth talking about. Nick, I can't see another NL West team trading anything to the Dodgers regardless if your season is in the tank. Yeah, I was talking to someone about the Ryan McMahon possibility with the Rockies. We know they didn't want to give Arenado to the Dodgers, and I certainly think that's true, but the Dodgers have great prospects too. So you're doing your organization a disservice by saying, oh, we're only looking at prospects from 29 teams that don't include the Dodgers, from 28 teams that don't include the Dodgers, right? Wake up the rooster. Padres get ex-Dodgers from other teams. They don't deal with us directly. John Kernan, LOL. It's so funny to me how Dodgers fans think that Skenes for Freddie isn't a good trade. I mean, it's a point. It's a trade that's not, it's a moot point. I mean, most organizations, yeah, of course, if you get Freddie for Skenes straight up, a lot of organizations, probably most would do that for sure, depending on where they're at in their championship run, but that's not how trades in baseball work, right? They include prospects, and the team that's trading the high-price player wants to get cheap, affordable talent that they can use. And Freddie Freeman is not that, right? So it's, yeah. PP, D-Mac, what's your updated win total prediction? Do they win 100 games still? I still think they do. Like I said, it's Dodgers summer, man. And we really haven't hit Dodgers summer. Tomorrow I'm doing a show. It's an in-depth schedule update, and Yeah, I don't know if the ops is on the way. Okay. Lots of tough teams, lots of tough opponents coming up for this Dodgers team. So if they can make it through this stretch with these injuries and still have that level of success where you're 2 games behind the best record in first place and things like that, then you feel like you're going to really set yourself up nicely this summer. But right now they're on pace to win exactly 100 games. I said 115 games. If they weren't injured, they would have been on that pace. I truly believe that. They've been injured. They're still on pace for 100 games. So I think right now you still have to think that there's going to be uptick in wins throughout the summer and they're get healthy. If they do, I think 107, 108 is pretty fair at this point. We've got a baby steps question. What are the chances that Kershaw and the team would win this coming game against the Mets? I would say pretty good. I mean, it's baseball. You never know. The Mets are a really good team as well. They're at home. It's a rematch of the NLCS, but I like the Dodgers. I mean, hopefully they take 2 out of 3. 4-seater 777. What up, Dodgers Nation? Just checking in on Noel's video on Dodgers murals around Los Angeles and the surrounding areas. Sweet murals. I like the life. I didn't even know we dropped that. That was today?
Yeah, it dropped this morning. Hey, thank you for Cedar. Actually, I just did the voiceover, but our guy Robert over here at Dodgers Nation, producer and editor,
that's awesome.
He did all the shots. He did all the production. He killed that. So thank you for checking it out, man.
Can't wait to watch that. That guy is an absolute legend with his editing, and the Dodger murals around the town are great. So definitely go watch that for sure. It's awesome. Ellis Shiva Jones, D-Mac, loving your Hawaiian Dodgers shirt. Hey, man, we're going to be out of the studio tomorrow, so got to do the fun shirt Friday. Look like the manager, Islands. Look like I work at a resort, but it's all vibes, right? All right, guys, so that is going to do it, though. Actually, let's do a quick walk-off, and we'll get out of here.
The walk-off.
Want to congratulate the great Joe Davis for winning the 2025 Sports Emmy for Outstanding Play-by-Play Personality on Tuesday night. It was for his work on Fox calling MLB and NFL games. You had other guys that are very prominent. Mike Breen, Ian Eagle, Noah Eagle, his son, Mike Tirico. So a tough category. And I love after Joe Davis won, he said, I honestly spent no time on the speech because I genuinely thought I had no chance of winning.
What an honor to hand out this award to an incredibly deep and talented field full of friends. Here we go. Wow. It's your night, Joe Davis.
I honestly spent no time on a speech because I genuinely thought I had no chance of winning. I told a few people it's an honor just to be on the list with these guys that I grew.
That's incredible stuff. And you saw him getting choked up there, getting emotional. Joe Davis did the impossible. He filled the shoes of Vin Scully. He's the guy that followed up Vin Scully, and he's done it at an incredible level. The best broadcaster in the game. Great to see Joe Davis win that award. It's going to be the first of many. But that's going to do it for this episode of Dodgers Dugout Live. My name is Doug McKain. You can follow me on X and Instagram at DMac_LA. Subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. Do your boy a favor, hit the like button, feed the algorithm. Also, subscribe to The Big Lead. Lots of Lakers talk. Just dropped a top 3 targets for the Lakers this offseason. Seeing a lot of you guys in the comments over there. Doing a Luka Doncic jersey giveaway too. Once we hit 2K, join the Discord. See you guys tomorrow. Enjoy your off day. And remember that nothing brings together quite like Dodger baseball. And until next time, think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.
And when the upcoming